This one is dedicated to the greatest villain of all time, Bowser. Jack, you're so cool. And with your song, you're gonna rule. Jack, can't you see? Your song did right by me. Jack Black, Jack Black, Jack Black, Jack Black, Jack Black, Jack Black. I love you. Oh, Charlie Day and Chris Pratt and Anya too. Keegan and Seth can't compare to you. Jack Black, at the end of the day, you're gonna win that Grammy. Jack Black, Jack Black, Jack. That song was completely improvised. I was like thinking in my head, like when I was like driving home from work, and then I'm like, yeah.
There you go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Buttery Show, where where the movies are always flowing, the reels are always reeling in, and we are going to review the final film in our video game movie month. And what movie is this? Why, it's none other than the one, the only, the Super Mario Brothers, and we're talking about the new one, the one that came out last month, not the one from 30 years ago. If you want to hear us talk about that one, well, come back after we're done with this live stream so that you could watch the review from last week. And of course, because this is a live stream, that means that if you guys go to the comment section right now and you type in what you thought of the movie, or just anything else we discussed like throughout the making of this movie, we will display as much of it as we possibly can right here at the bottom, right here where that Super Mario Bros. Logo is. With all that said, I am your host, Mike, and with me is Miguel, who has been co-hosting me for the past month. Thank you so much for being in the ride with me so far. And so, what were your overall thoughts on this movie?
Well, when I first heard about it, I'm like thinking, okay, it's done by the same people who did Illumination, the Minions movies. I'm like, I mean, yeah, they're kind of hit and miss with their like track record. But when I first saw the trailer, then I'm like, okay, this looks like it has potential. It looks like it could be good.
Right. Yeah. For me, it's like I was really apprehensive in general. I mean, don't get me wrong. Sonic and Detective Pikachu, as all of you people in the audience might have noticed us discuss earlier, we feel a little bit less, cautious compared to, say, the way we were back in 2019. But at the same time, there's like all this like media like discussions going on about the casting, about the fact that this is an animated film, while Pikachu and Sonic were both live action. Is there going to be a Smash Bros. Movie? And I just wanted to see the movie, and honestly, because you got Mario and Luigi, I was like hoping that maybe they might throw in like a apophenic Kamen Rider reference.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got my wish, and I didn't even have to be apophenic just to get it. But you know what? Super always said, apophenia is one heck of a disorder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so this movie is an animated comedy action film made by Illumination, the same people who made Minions and Despicable Me. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the fact that Illumination did it became very noticeable when certain characters had certain scenes, but we'll get into that later. So the movie came out in 2023. It was directed by Aaron Horvath and written by Matthew Fogel. Obviously, it was based on Mario, the famous character from Nintendo, and the '85 video game. Now, is this closer to the video game compared to the 1993 film? Depends on which game, because there's two Super Mario Brothers games. There's the one where like you're inside a waterworks and you have to like try to not die. And then there's the one where you like go rescue the princess. I would say this one's closer to the one where you have to rescue the princess. Yeah, so this movie had a budget of $100 million. Wanna make an estimate as to what the box office was?
Oh, I know it already made over $1 billion. I mean, with its international, when you count the international box office.
Well, you're right. It not only did it go reach $1 billion, it made 1.339. So we could estimate that to $1.4 billion. That is 1,400% of the budget.
Yeah.
To say that it broke even is a gross understatement. It's not
Yeah.
even an acute understatement. It is a gross understatement. Now it had a lot of marketing behind it, especially involving Jack Black, who plays the role of Bowser in the film. And of course, he even got to write one of the most iconic songs for the movie. Now, as for accolades, well, it's too early for accolades because the movie literally just came out. But it did. But it did get a nomination for most innovative advertising for feature film in 2023 Golden Trailer Awards. So I didn't know trailers had awards, but
Right. This is new.
yeah. So come back a year from now and like we'll see what kind of accolades it's made. Yeah, it's honestly this is the first time in quite a hot minute on this channel where we actually reviewed a movie that actually just came out recently. So that is something. Uh Now, one of the biggest controversies was the casting. So you got so hold on, let me get to the little tab right here. So we have Chris Pratt as Mario, Charlie Day as Luigi. You got Anya Tailor-Joy as Princess Peach, Michael Key as Toad, Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong, and finally Jack Black himself as Bowser. And yes, this is what he wore to the red carpet. This is actually kind of cool. So biggest controversy was Chris Pratt as Mario. What were your thoughts on that?
Honestly, I thought a lot of the controversy surrounding it was overblown. I'm like, for some reason, media just seems to have a hate boner for Chris Pratt, and
Mm-hmm.
I think kind of just took it out. But when I saw his performance, I'm like, he actually did okay. I mean, yeah, sure, he didn't imitate Charles Martinet, but he actually did like a Brooklyn accent, kind of similar to what Lou Albano did in the Super Mario Bros. Super Show back in '89. So I honestly think he did a really good role.
Honestly, I was a huge fan of Chris Pratt because I was a fan of a certain show called Parks and Recreation,
Mm-hmm.
and my second most favorite character is Andy Dwyer, and he's such a fun, adorable character. He goes through so much character development in that show. So it's like, as much as we hated his character at the start of that show, he grew on us, and obviously they had to write in an excuse to get rid of the character for a few episodes because he was filming Guardians of the Galaxy. Heck, they even made a plot point in season 5
Hmm.
that Andy Dwyer was actually gonna go through police training to become a police officer, as a way to justify the fact that Chris Pratt in real life was getting physical training to become Star-Lord in Guardians of the Galaxy. And of course, he became such a media starling that not only was he in Guardians of the Galaxy, but he was also in Jurassic Park and Lego Movie, and I think one more thing in addition to that. So he had like 4 different Lego characters who were played by Chris Pratt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Garfield too.
Garfield. Yes. Garfield. Man, I hate Mondays. Yeah. As for the controversy, honestly, I think it's more like people just have some hate for him for reasons that are not quite clear. Like a lot, in fact, a lot of people were actually supporting him. Like even his cast, even other actors from the MCU, they were even there were even like people on both sides of the political spectrum, all sides of the religious spectrum. Basically, it's like some corner of Tumblr or Reddit that just doesn't like Chris Pratt for some reason. Now,
Yeah.
if anything, my only question about what Chris Pratt playing Mario is the fact that the film is animated. Because if it was going to be a live action film, like how the other two franchises were, Detective Pikachu and Sonic, I could see Chris Pratt playing a live action Mario if they cast Pedro Pascal as Wario,
Mm-hmm.
because Wario would make a perfect. Sorry, Pedro Pascal would make a perfect Wario.
Yeah.
But because it's an animated film and they're all doing voice work, then I would have to pull a page from Wally Wingard. By the way, shout out to Wally Wingard, and ask, why not just hire professional voice actors? And just to be perfectly clear, there's a difference between voice acting and actual acting, and they both require different skill sets. So even though you could have an actor be like super phenomenal, like maybe like let's say Al Pacino or Tom Cruise, who are great actors, don't get me wrong, but if you gave them like voice roles, it won't be guaranteed that they would give a great voice
Mm-hmm.
performance. I mean, we've seen Food Fight, so.
Yeah.
Um, but with that being said, why not get like actual voice actors? I'm not saying get Johnny Young Bosch to play Mario, because as much as I love Johnny Young Bosch, it would not be the best choice. Like maybe if he played Waluigi, maybe that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the point is, it's like if you're going to do an animated film, why not get actual voice actors whose background is voice actors? But I get it. You want to market the film. But honestly, that was my only issue with Chris Pratt as the lead role. But we also have Charlie Day and Anya Tailor-Joy. So Charlie Day is most famous for being in the show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. If I remember correctly, he was also one of the writers for that show.
Yes.
Yeah, one of my most favorite episodes was Charlie McDennis and its sequel, Charlie McDennis 2 Electric Boogaloo. Personally, I always had an idea for a third one called Charlie McDennis 3 Search for Frank, but that's just me. He was also in Pacific Rim and in Hotel Artemis. Not a lot of people have even remembered that movie existed, but Hotel Artemis was actually a pretty fun heist film. It had not only did it have him, but it also had Jodie Foster, Dave Bautista, and even Jeff Goldblum playing one of the main villains. So if you haven't seen Hotel Artemis, I definitely recommend checking it out.
Okay.
Okay. So like the very first question about the actual movie itself. What are your thoughts on the voice chemistry between Mario and Luigi, played by Chris Pratt and Charlie Day?
Honestly, their chemistry was one of the strong points. I mean, like Chris Pratt and Charlie Day did a good job, like as Mario and Luigi. Like you could actually see, like they had a good brotherly connection throughout the scenes that they had together, like in the beginning of the movie and near the end. Like, I honestly thought Charlie Day did a good job playing Luigi and kind of giving his not too brave, but well, when the push comes to shove, he does step up to the plate.
Yeah. No. I thought he was great, and I wish we had more scenes with the two of them together.
Yeah.
One thing I do find interesting is how like we were like wondering like are they gonna do like Italian accents? Are they gonna do like Brooklyn accents? And what's really interesting is they did have the stereotypical Italian accents at the beginning of the film, but it was all a fake out because it was just a commercial.
Yeah.
It's like, we are the Mario Brothers, Mario and Luigi.
Yeah.
This whole rap sequence. The only thing that isn't broken is my bank account.
Yeah. Classic.
Yeah. I love that. And of course it's like you got the stereotypical like family dynamic of like, what? This is what you want to make of yourselves? I'm very disappointed. And worse, you're dragging your own brother down with you. I'm. Uh,
Yeah, for the people that wanted Charles Martinet, that was him as Mario's dad.
yeah. No, it was wonderful having him actually play that character because it's kind of like how you had the voice of the original Lion-O play Lion-O's dad in the 2011 Thundercats remake.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I love when they bring back the original actors,
Mm-hmm.
but not as the original characters because it won't always make sense. Which actually kind of brings me to that one robot chicken joke where like you got a Star Trek convention, Star Wars convention double booked, and one of them was like, "I heard Star Trek Enterprise is gonna have a cameo from William Shatner and not as Captain Kirk." You, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you? Yeah, no, I love their chemistry, though. I wish we had more scenes with the two of them
I agree.
together. Yeah, because they were separated, but you know, I guess your brother's in another castle. What are you going to do about it?
True.
Okay, so of course, much like in the 1993 film, the Mushroom Kingdom takes place in an alternate universe, which you have to enter through a pipeline. So yeah, that's a nice nod to the original series. Make New York a separate dimension
Mhm.
from the new one, and yeah, the two of them get separated. And meanwhile, Bowser, played by Jack Black, he like is on the warpath to conquer the Mushroom Kingdom. By the way, speaking of the Mushroom Kingdom, when you first saw that map from Sonic the Hedgehog in 2020, were you ever like thinking like, are they gonna make a Mario reference here, or like ever wonder like if they're gonna do like a crossover because the whole mushroom aspect?
I thought about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we're all hoping that we're gonna have a Smash Bros. Movie, kind of like how we had an Avengers movie. It's like we got Pikachu, we got Sonic, we got Mario, Luigi, Toad. Wait, actually, no, Toad is not a playable character, is he? So you got Mario, Luigi,
Donkey Kong.
Bowser, Donkey Kong, and Peach. So that's seven characters already. All you need is three more movies. You just need
Zelda.
Zelda, Kirby, and Metroid, and then you can make your first Smash movie.
Mm-hmm.
Then before and then Phase 2, you can introduce other characters like from Fire Emblem,
Star.
Captain Falcon, and Star Fox.
Mm-hmm.
And then Phase 3, you can start introducing Street Fighters, more Pokemon, and
Yeah.
yeah, like basically. Yeah, so yeah, it's like you could have an expansive universe, and I love how they're not doing it one game at a time by incorporating Donkey Kong into this game.
Mm-hmm.
But what? But like up to this point, like what were some of your favorite Easter eggs? Because there's quite a number of them, even just from like the first New York sequence.
Well, a lot of them, yeah, were from the very beginning. Like when they're in that pizza parlor at the beginning, like having it being adored with all the different Punch Out characters, like Little Mac and Glass Joe and all of them. Or when they're in Mario's house and
Yeah,
you see him playing Kid
I also
Icarus.
love how. I also love how one of the characters had a ringtone based on the GameCube intro song that goes like.
That was Luigi. That was Luigi's cell phone.
Yeah, that was fun. And also, Mayor Polina was there.
Mm-hmm.
So, for those of you who don't know, Polina was the original damsel in distress in Donkey Kong. See, Mario is actually a spin off of Donkey Kong, and Mario has to rescue Polina from Donkey Kong. But then, like, she got replaced by Princess Peach in the Super Mario Brothers game. But Polina made a comeback in Super Mario Odyssey, where she's the mayor of New Donk City. So to see, which is based off of New York, seeing a cameo from Paulina in New York, that felt particularly special. Not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let's take a look at the Mushroom Kingdom. So vast world. I was impressed with how much of the environment they rendered.
Oh, yeah.
And we see like side villains of like all kinds on the way there, like those giant like things that look like Pikachu proteins, or like this little ladybug dudes from Super Mario Land 3D from the 3DS. It's just
Mm-hmm.
gorgeous. And
The Billy Bugs. Yep.
of course, we are introduced to Toad, who's played by Keegan Michael Key. Uh, uh, Key is most famous for his comedy duo with Jordan Peele. Yes, the horror movie writer himself, Jordan Peele, used to be a comedian. Key and Peele, great show. Definitely check out some of the episodes. One of my favorites was the one with the Green Falcon.
And believe it or not, they were on an epic rap battle of history where they played Gandhi and Martin Luther King.
Yeah, they both played Gandhi and Martin Luther King. Yes. uh, I'm gonna squash this flat like one of your breads, non-violent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it was wonderful, and of course, Keegan Michael Key was also in what's her name, Retta's boyfriend in Parks and Recreation. So that's two Parks and Rec actors right there in one movie, and also. Key and Peele were also in a movie called Keanu, where they had to rescue a kitten named Keanu. God, I love Mr. Reeves.
Yes.
Yeah. So, what were your thoughts on Toad finally having like a speaking role, as well as like the way he was portrayed in this movie?
I think Michael Key actually did pretty good as Toad. I mean, yeah, if you listen to his voice in the games where he sounds really like scratchy and things like, I mean, I'm kind of glad they didn't go that route for him in the movie because that kind of would grate on your ears after a while.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty good in bringing Toad personality in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of funny moments, like when they're making the card and he has that big old fuck with the hydraulics.
Yeah, Mario got like a basic cart. Princess Peach got a motorcycle, and tiny little Toad got a giant monster truck. And honestly, that is kind of in character for him. I mean, it's better than. I mean, the only thing more fun than that is like having like tall Waluigi like riding on a tiny little vehicle with like his knees like sticking out higher than his head.
Yeah, where you have Nelson from The Simpsons laughing at him until he sees how tall he is.
Yeah, like for me, it's like for me, whenever I see Waluigi riding like those tiny little carts with his like really long legs, it reminds me of season 2 of Beast Wars. Whenever Dinobot has to ride on top of Rat Trap in his cart mode.
Yeah.
I cannot believe a warrior such as myself has been reduced to this.
Yeah.
Classic. Oh, speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know, we will review Transformers: Rise of the Beast in the month of July. Just letting you know. Stick around for that. Yeah. So Toad says, we can help you find your brother. There's one person who I know will definitely help, and it is the princess. And we get this amazing like running through the city sequence. I feel like I've seen that in a lot of like Wes Anderson movies, but except it's a lot more animated here. And honestly, like I had fun watching that whole chase sequence, like when they were trying to get to the castle.
Yeah.
And of course we get the classic line, the princess is in another castle. So let's talk about the princess. So Princess Peach, much more active role here compared to what we usually see in the video games. Now we're not going to pretend that Super Princess Peach for the Nintendo DS did not exist. Yes, we know that it existed, but other than that one time, the only time we really see Princess Peach being like a dynamic character is in Smash Bros. And we're not there yet. And of course, she is voiced by Anya Tailor-Joy, who's famous for playing the lead in Queen's Gambit on Netflix. And she was also a vital character in the film One Night in Soho. By the way, that was a pretty fun film, just saying. Yeah, it's had Matt Smith playing a character in it. Yeah, and here she was much more assertive, more hands-on. She's like, I will go out into the world, recruit the Kongs to join our army, and we will fight against Bowser. Some people did not take too kindly to this. Other people took too kindly to it. What were your thoughts on the way Peach was portrayed here, and Anya Tailor-Joy's portrayal here?
I think they did a pretty good job balancing out Peach. I mean, they made it to where yes, she's actually takes a much more proactive role, but they didn't make her obnoxious or infallible or any other pitfalls that you see a lot of other characters fall into these days in films like Your Ways and things like that. She didn't fall into that I'm perfect and can do no wrong stuff, which already makes her likable. She had a much more likable personality as well.
Yeah, and even in moments where she was more, well, as you put it, infallible, it did come off a lot more justified, namely the obstacle course scene where it's like it took Mario all night to complete the obstacle course, which by the way, let's pull up a picture of this. So yeah, in order to join Peach's quest to find the Kongs and save Luigi, Mario has to complete this obstacle course in its entirety. It only took her one attempt. Honestly, I don't have a problem with that. She came to the Mushroom Kingdom as a baby.
Yeah.
Which by the way, kind of makes it like a role reversal to Daisy in the original 93 film, where it's like, instead of coming to New York as a baby, Peach came to the Mushroom Kingdom as a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool. I find that very interesting, but also like because she was raised by the Toads, also it raises some questions about the whole like Toadette thing and the fan favorite Bowsette thing.
Mm.
But we are introduced to the power system here, so they do have those power boxes with the question marks, and yes, you got the super mushrooms, you got the fire flowers, you got an ice flower, which I don't remember seeing in the games.
That was in the new Super Mario Brothers games.
The new one, right? Okay.
Yeah, the one for the Wii and the Wii U.
Yeah, see, I never played the Wii or Wii U ones. I kind of like skipped straight to the Switch after the 3DS. Yeah, I remember the Mega Mushroom for the Nintendo DS. And as fun as it was on the first level, it's actually kind of useless in certain other levels, tragically. But hey, Luigi's Texas Hold'em, that was a fun mini game.
It was.
Yeah, and of course, if you get hit once, you lose your power up. So what do you think about like the way they introduce like these power mechanics in this game, in this movie?
It's pretty accurate to how they actually function in the games. I mean, the way they implement them was a lot of fun, and you get to see some things that you normally like seeing Donkey Kong with a fire flower, which you've never seen before. That was kind of cool. And
yeah, the closest we did was like just having the color change options in Smash Bros, where like you just put on like the red fur and then just like equip Fire Flower to him. Yeah, or better yet, the Fireball Saber.
Yeah,
I love the Fireball Saber, especially when you like throw it like Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, but this is where I started to really notice the illumination style of artwork because like whenever Peach gets excited, like her eyes like bounce around in a very particular way that is very signature of illumination. Like if you've ever seen Cindy Lou from The Grinch or Lucy from Despicable Me 2 and 3, you kind of know what I'm talking about. Like the whole like bouncy like oh my god, you're from the human world. What is that like? Like the way her eyes bounce around like that. It's like that is when like because the thing is this movie could have been animated like directly by Nintendo, just like how like the long claw scenes were made directly by Sony.
Yeah.
But like here it's like this is where you can tell this is definitely Illumination. This isn't Pixar. This isn't DreamWorks. This is definitely Illumination. Because some art stuff, some animation styles, they have a very distinct way of animating their characters that isn't really done by other animators. Like Like there's certain aspects to Pixar that you don't see in DreamWorks or Illumination. There are certain aspects of DreamWorks that you don't see in Pixar and Illumination. And of
Yeah.
course, in Illumination, you see things that you don't see in DreamWorks or Pixar. And I'm not saying any one style is better than any other style, because like they're all look, they're oranges, bananas, and grapes. It's like at the end of the day, they're all fruits.
Yeah, it's all subjective as to what your taste is.
Yeah, but it's specifically the character model for Peach where like I most noticed the distinct Illumination style of artwork. But yes, we do get like this whole montage of Mario trying to like complete the obstacle course, and we get the classic "I want to be I'm holding out for a hero" by Bonnie Tyler. And no, it's not the fairy godmother version. So I'm sorry, all you Shrek fans. It's the original Bonnie Tyler version. You're gonna have to deal with it. But yes, so we do meet the Kongs, and yes, Donkey is played by none other than Seth Rogen, famous for famous for movies like Knocked Up, Zack and Miri, Super Bad. Where you know what I love about Super Bad is that Jonah Hill plays Seth Rogen in that.
Yeah.
Because the two fictional characters are based on the two writers of the movie. And of course, for those of you who don't know, Seth Rogen is making the new Ninja Turtles movie that's coming out later this year. So do with that as you will. And but yeah, what were your thoughts on his portrayal as Donkey Kong?
Like your mileage may vary with like Seth Rogen's comedy. I mean, depends on your appetite for stoner comedy. But this is one of those instances where he actually did pretty good. I mean, playing Donkey Kong. And it was funny like hearing the DK rap come out when like he makes his like grand appearance.
Yeah, for me it was like I was worried he was gonna like go into the whole stoner comedy aspect, but like I'm glad it's like, yeah, they made Donkey Kong obnoxious because the character usually is obnoxious. I mean, I've seen like the '90s CGI show on Fox Kids,
that one.
But I'm glad that like Seth Rogen like toned it down just enough that it falls within his character. And of course, we get one of the most iconic scenes in the movie, which is the Smash arena. It's practically Smash. You got Mario versus Donkey Kong, and of course his dad, which was originally his grandpa in the video games, if I recall. It's like, and just to make sure that this game isn't over in 5 seconds, I've installed power-up boxes all over the arena. All right, now I'm getting too old for this. Go fight your little battle.
Yeah.
So what were your favorite highlights of the arena match?
Well, of course, like seeing Mario wear the cat suit was a lot of fun. But of course, like at the beginning, like when you hear like when you actually see the cameo from Diddy Kong cheering on Donkey Kong, you're like, Diddy.
Yeah, you actually see a lot of Donkey Kong characters making a cameo. It's been a while since I've actually like watched the TV show, and I don't really play the games very much. But I did play World of Light, so I actually do recognize a lot of the characters through Smash 5. And yeah, I love that we saw all of them, like the one with with the red cap facing backwards. Yeah. I don't think we see like the pilot one though. The one that flies on an airplane.
Monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing them.
Yeah, but one thing I really appreciated is just like the whole 3-dimensional aspect of it, because Super Mario, like the way it's designed in the video game, does seem very easy and safe because it's a 2-dimensional game. It's like oh, you just gotta jump, hit the block, get the mushroom, you're good. But this takes place in a 3-dimensional environment, which means you're not just standing on a platform; you're standing on an I-beam. Yeah, that means if you like jump to the side slightly, you fall. You're guaranteed to fall.
Yeah.
so like I appreciate how in the choreography you do have the aspect of like the fact that you like the animators actually took advantage of real world physics along with the whole 3D environment. Like there is peril. Like you can't just safely get blocks, and even when you like use your bottom butt attack in order to smash down on a block and fall through, you're
Hmm.
still taking a risk because if you don't know that there's a platform underneath that block, you might fall to your death.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I love that. And of course, thanks to the cat suit, Mario did win. And of course, they have to take a shortcut to cut off Bowser. And what is this shortcut?
The Rainbow Road.
This scene is just so iconic. Honestly, it was so made for being iconic that whenever you look at billboards promoting Super Mario Bros. The movie, they often have images of the whole Rainbow Road scene where you got Mario, Peach, Donkey Kong, and Toad like on their carts.
Yeah.
So I mean, we already talked about our history with Super Mario Brothers, the game. Let's talk about Mario Kart. What's your history with Mario Kart?
That I actually started at the very beginning. Like when I got my Super Nintendo for Christmas back in '92, that was one of the first games I got for it.
Really?
I've been yep. So I've been playing those games since the very beginning. I mean, yeah, the Switch one is my favorite, but I still go back and play the classics every now and then.
Yo, okay, for me, okay, I knew that the fourth game I became first aware of Mario Kart since the fourth one came out.
On the
Double
game,
Dash for the GameCube, yeah. But I never really played it because this was before I had a GameCube. By the time I got a GameCube, not a lot of GameCube games were being released. I think like pretty much one of the last few ones they made was Shadow the Hedgehog, which I did get like about a week or two after it came out. But like we're talking like the very first GameCube game I got was XD Gale of Darkness. So like you kind of have an understanding of how late into the game I got a GameCube.
yeah,
Now, as for I think the Wii was either already came out or was about to come out when I finally got a GameCube. So like the very first Mario Kart game I ever got was actually the fifth Mario Kart 5 for the Nintendo DS, also known as Mario Kart DS.
hmm,
And it was really fun. I'm not gonna lie though, like because like yeah, like using the wireless play, like you could do four courses. No,
yeah,
not four, like eight courses with friends who don't have the cartridge on their DS. But when you have all eight, but when you do have your own cartridge, it is so much more fun because like you got all 32 courses, you
yep,
got these bonus challenges, and one of the most fun aspects is that to take advantage of the whole touchscreen component, you can even design your own logo on the cart.
okay, that was one of the really fun parts of it.
Yeah, so like me like when I got a new copy of the game because I lost my old one or a friend borrowed it and never gave it back to me. Um, when I got a new copy like about a few years ago, let's say around 2019. Do you want to know what I made my logo for my custom cart?
What did you make it?
The Common Rider Drives logo.
Nice.
Like I had the whole like hearth thing. Drive, type, speed. Drive, type, wild. Drive, type, technique. So yeah, there's 8 Mario Kart games now. You've got the original for SNES. No wait, yeah,
Nintendo 64,
yeah. Second one for the 64. The third one for the
Game
Game Boy
Advance.
Advance. The fourth one for the GameCube. The fifth one for the DS. The sixth one for the Wii, which is my least favorite. You've got the seventh one for the 3DS and the eighth one for the Wii U and for the Switch. It originally
Hmm.
came out for the Wii U. The Switch re-released it with all the DLCs included for free. But now they have a new pass system, so you could play additional courses.
Hmm.
The one singular thing I like about the season pass is that it's an opportunity to have not one, not two, but 4 Rainbow Roads.
Yeah.
Because one thing I've always wanted is to have all 8 Rainbow Roads and play through all of them in order back to back and call it the ultimate Rainbow Cup.
There you go.
Yeah, like we're going full Hot Wheels accelerators on that. So before we go back to the actual movie, final 2 questions about Mario Kart. What's your favorite track and who is your main?
My favorite track would probably have to be Waluigi Pinball from the DS game. I mean,
Yeah,
that was like one of the most unique tracks in any game, and the track was pretty catchy.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
in most of the games, I always use Luigi, but when MK8 came out and they started adding Link from The Legend of Zelda as a DLC character, I wound up using him.
Hello, you okay?
Yeah, there.
You all right there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so you used to play as Luigi, and then who did you play as?
Link when
Oh,
Mario Kart 8 came out.
yeah. So for me, my main was always Yoshi,
Mm-hmm.
but then much like you, I started playing as Link, and I didn't just like play as Link. I used his Hyrulean motorcycle like from like the DLC where it's like
Yeah, for the Wild, yep.
yeah, yeah. It's like I swear, like they need to make a Megazord out of those mecha, and like the fact that the fifth Zord is a motorcycle. I'm like, I mean, have you seen the new Bandai Premium where it's like you got Eva 01, Ultraman, Gojira, and Machine Cyclone combined
Yeah,
into robot? Yeah, it's like if Shin Tokuverse can do it, Link can do it too. But yeah. So everyone got intercepted, and yeah, we have to deal with the man himself, Bowser, played famously by Jack Black. What do we not already know about Jack Black? He probably, I mean, one of his earlier films that he did was the movie Cable Guy with Jim Carrey. Yes, we're going back to Jim Carrey after having all that talk about Sonic the Hedgehog, and then briefly mentioning him in '93 Mario. But yeah, so he was in Cable Guy. He was in Saving Silverman, one of my favorite comedies. He was, I think, one of his most famous roles was from School of Rock.
Mm-hmm. Shallow Hal.
Yeah, and of course of course he has history with voice work as Po from Kung Fu Panda.
Yep.
So,
He was also in the 2005 King Kong film.
oh yeah. Twas not the planes that killed the beast. It was beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course he played himself in Tenacious D and The Pick of Destiny,
Yeah.
where a scene was filmed at the House of the Book that was famously used from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So there's your Power Rangers reference for the day.
Mm-hmm.
What were your thoughts about Jack Black being announced to play the character, and what were your thoughts about his portrayal of the character?
When I saw that, yeah, Jack Black was going to be Bowser, I'm like, okay, yeah, if it's Bowser, while he can look menacing, generally is played as a more comedic character in many of the different Mario games, particularly like Paper Mario.
Yeah.
And when I actually saw his performance, I'm like, he easily stole the show when it came to like this movie. I'm like, he knocked it out the park. Like, easily the best part of the movie.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he definitely carried the film more than anyone else. Hence, like the cover I made at the start of this review. And again, he had the experience of doing voice work as Po from Kung Fu Panda, and he has a musical background. So of course he sang that one famous song. Um, I one thing I find it particularly interesting is that they kind of went with the whole Super Mario Odyssey route, where like he wants to marry Princess Peach. He's very open about it, and he even has like the tuxedo from the game and
Yes.
the piranha plant.
Yeah. Okay, that was classic.
And I love how like he's like trying to be like a dude bro in front of like all of the other Koopas, but at the same time it's like they can't talk back to him because like he dominates with his fire breath. Like he destroyed that entire ice kingdom in a single fire breath.
Yeah.
And like he turned a Koopa instantaneously into a dry bone.
Yeah.
No, like I was really enamored with his performance, and honestly, it's like I feel like he definitely was the goat. So going into a tangent about Jack Black, what are your thoughts about the song? Peaches, 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 peaches,
It's a very
peaches.
simplistic song, but it's so catchy that you can't help but love it.
Yeah, no, like that is an earworm song right there. No, I love how like it is so catchy. Like I see like so many videos of like people like lip syncing to it. There's like even this really attractive Bowser cosplay with like these ripped washboard Joestar abs. Like he may as well be part 3 Dio, but with red hair instead of blonde. You could be like Jotaro. Peaches, 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 peaches.
uh,
And but honestly, like for me, what really killed it was like how like there was like a video of like a husky like just like sitting on the floor minding its own business, and a bunch of peaches are rolling to rolling up to it, and it's like peaches, 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 peaches,
yeah.
peaches, 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 and then like it starts, and then you got a clip of it. It's like, how it's like I love you. That song is so freaking catchy. No, like I really want to. I wish there was like a Japanese cover of that song, just like how there's a cover of "Stronger Than You"
Mm-hmm.
from Steven Universe. So like Momo 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 Aishiteru. Yeah, classic. Yeah, definitely stole the show.
He did.
So what are some of your favorite Bowser moments?
Some of my favorite Bowser moments.
Yeah.
Well, I like when he was like, yeah, of course, playing piano, and then like Kamek comes in and tells him about, and he's like, "Come, jam with me," and starts playing the piano with him, and then just slams the cover down on his fingers.
Yeah, it's like ah. It's like growth is the crucible of growth stems from pain. And he like walks up like he's freaking Doomfist from Overwatch.
Yeah.
And I also love that. I love that interrogation scene with Luigi. She's like, I've heard that there's a man who looks like you, who has a mustache just like you, who wears a hat just like you, and Peach is walking around with him. Tell me, does Peach like him? If she has good taste, she would.
Yeah.
I think that was probably Charlie Day's best line in the entire film.
It was.
It's like he's scared, but he's still being a good brother. It's like my brother is a real brother. He is a Chad. He deserves the ladies.
Mm-hmm.
So like I love the advocacy. It's like, do you think Peach likes him? If she has good taste, she would.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just thinking about it is killing me. So we get the wedding fight scene, and some of it like goes to New York. And so, what were some of your favorite like fight sequences in the movie? Are there any particular specific stunts that you saw in the film that stood out to you the most?
Let's see. Well, at the end, probably like at the end when Mario and Luigi finally get the superstar, and you actually see them like going to town on all Bowser's troops, and like Luigi actually saves Form and Spike, who had been antagonizing them at the beginning of the movie. So it's like, oh hey Spike, and he's like, huh, Luigi?
Yeah, no, I love that. See, that is what 2017 Power Rangers should have done instead of what actually happened. Where like when the putties destroyed that one girl's car, and like Kimberly's like, yeah, that's what you get. And I'm like, what? What? Oh no, let me put on my George face. What?
Yeah.
It's like that scene from Power Rangers did not make sense, but it did make sense in Super Mario Brothers because it's like, Yeah, the person who you thought was a loser turned out to be a hero, and you saved your life. Yay! It's like I you couldn't have done it better if it wasn't like if it, unless it was like from One Punch Man, because like let's be honest, like no one believes in Saitama, but he saves the day all the time.
Mm.
Everyone preach for Moon Rider. Okay, there we go.
Yes.
For I mean, I love a lot of the sequences. I love like the way Fire Donkey and Cat Mario like work off of each other. I love the way Ice Peach is able to like freeze one of the freeze Bowser, even if it's only temporary. I love the way like the
Hmm.
Mario is able to redirect that super bullet bill, and then it ended up going back into the pipe to New York. Like
Yeah,
I love that really cool like shield scene, like it was like straight out of Avengers.
it was.
But in the end, we all know what we came here to see. We all know the very specific stunt that we loved the most.
Hmm.
Mario double kick!
Oh, yeah.
I jumped out of my seat when I saw that twice.
Hmm.
Even a certain someone was like, yo, what are you doing? We're in a movie theater. I'm like, I can't help it. They're doing the thing. They're doing the thing. They're doing the
Yeah.
thing. So so like what were your thoughts about like the overall ending of the movie, and what, and if you could come up with a premise for a sequel, what would you write the sequel out to be?
Well, I know, like, I did like the ending, like, where you see, like, Mario and Luigi are now living in the Mushroom Kingdom. They're still doing their job as plumbers, and having the end come up with Mr. Blue Sky by Electric Light Orchestra, I thought that actually fit. And then, as far as, like, the ending, well, seeing as how, like, at the very end, you see that Yoshi egg in the sewers where Mario and Luigi enter the Mushroom Kingdom, it could be like, yeah, Yoshi running rampant through New York, and Mario and Luigi meet up with him somehow.
Yeah,
And well, of course, we should probably like implement Daisy and Wario and Waluigi eventually.
yeah, yeah. No, I would say this. Okay, first of all, I agree. Mr. Blue Sky, perfect way to end the movie, especially since that was the song they played at the beginning of Guardians of the Galaxy Part Two.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Pratt, Chris Pratt, Chris Pratt, Chris Pratt, Chris Pratt, Chris Pratt, Chris Pratt. Um, but yeah, I agree with you about Yoshi. Like they need to incorporate the fact that Yoshi's in the real world in some kind of way. I mean, we do see a bunch of Yoshis in the background in an earlier scene in the movie, but ooh, it was so, but it was just like a hit and miss. It's like you don't really need Yoshi in the movie, but now you need the Yoshi in the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
As for Waluigi and Wario, okay, like one thing that always stood out to me about those two characters is Wario's hat, like his W looks like Mario's M upside down,
Mm-hmm.
and Waluigi's hat looks like Luigi's L upside down. So
Mm-hmm.
much so that like I was surprised his name was Waluigi. I thought his name would be Ruigi because like the upside down L makes like an R shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought his name would be Ruigi. So it's like Wario and Luigi, the evil counterparts of Mario and Luigi.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, obviously, Wario is not really a villain. He's more of an anti-hero.
This.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, playing Wario games is really fun. Not gonna lie, but yeah, no, I really hope that they are more antagonistic in the first half of the movie, and then the four of them have to team up and do a quadruple rider kick.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, like I really hope so one thing they could do is like they could do like a negative dimension, because like you know how like in like every second level of every world of Mario, like you go like underground into those
Yeah.
sewage systems. Yeah, so like what if they had like sort of an underground thing, like sort of like an anti Mushroom Kingdom, or a low rule, but from the Mushroom Kingdom.
Yeah.
So you got high rule, you got low rule, and and yeah, so like Waluigi and Wario would be Mario and Luigi's negative counterparts. I mean, even the Pokemon anime did something like that.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, where you got like a cowardly Ash going up against a benevolent Team Rocket.
Hmm.
Yeah. Final thoughts on the movie, and what would be your score?
Final thoughts? Well, honestly, this makes up for a lot of the pitfalls that were they fell in the '93 movie. And in all honesty, while it's a simple plot, the Mario games in general have always had pretty simple plots, and it does a good job, well, a phenomenal job bringing the games to the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, I'd give the film a 9.5 out of 10. I mean, you really can't get much more accurate than they did it in this movie.
Right. I would give this movie a 9 out of 10 because it was entertaining. It was phenomenal. I mean, was the plot really deep? No, it wasn't. But it doesn't need to be. Like it was pretty short and sweet. But the thing is, it also gave you the time to bask into the overall environment. And they did a lot of world building. They had Bowser's Keep. They had like the Ice Kingdom. They had what's it called? They had the Kongs, and of course, like I said, like the one thing I liked about the 2017 Power Rangers movie is that they had an equation as the Yellow Ranger in the opening sequence. So it's like, oh, we're world building, like. But like, of course, we never see the other three Rangers, but it is what it is. But so it's like, oh, we got Kongs. So like maybe we might also see like Kirby or Fox McCloud at some point. Like we're like building up to a joint universe. It's like we had the MCU, the DCEU, the Dark Universe before the Mummy ruined it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there's that. But all in all, even as a standalone film, like it was just simple, entertaining. Like I got to enjoy things, and honestly, I liked it more than a lot of other Illumination films. To be honest, like because I'm gonna be honest, I do not care for Minions.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, like it's like I don't hate the Despicable Me movies in general, but the Minions are kind of annoying. Then when you watch the Lorax, it's like you got all those fish that act like Minions, so they go the Grinch really soured things for me. I mean, I don't hate the portrayal of Grinch, the character. I just hate the movie itself.
Yeah.
But
And
like
then
here,
two, I saw the first one, didn't see the second one.
yeah, so like this movie felt a lot more refreshing. I know there's gonna be a new movie involving mallards. Don't know if I'll watch it or not. If I do, I'll let you guys know how I feel about it. But honestly, it's like just Mario aspect. It was just so well done. Now they just gotta work together with Sega and Nintendo in order to, and by which I mean Nintendo Studio, not Nintendo the game company, on how to bring everyone together to make the Smash universe.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna have to figure out a way to get rid of the human characters first to justify it being all CGI.
Mm-hmm.
So final question before we go into the comments: which Nintendo franchise do you think should have a movie next?
Let's go with The Legend of Zelda. I mean, it's quite possibly the next biggest one after Mario. I mean, and I
Maybe
figure,
they had a cereal together.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're not wrong. I agree with you on Legend of Zelda, but I think Zelda and Metroid would be the two hardest series to adapt. But I
Mm-hmm.
think Zelda would definitely be easier to adapt than Metroid because, like, for Metroid, you're gonna have to you have to jump through a lot of hoops to get a story right that captures the spirit of the Metroid games because it's like it is a Metroidvania. Yes, Metroidvania. Got to say from Metroid and Castlevania. I get it. It's a long adventure, 2D scroll. Well, not 2D scroller, but it's 2 dimensional. There's a lot of story behind it and very little dialogue to tell it. The games do a great job because you learn the story through exploration, not through dialogue. So like how they will turn that into a 90 to 120-minute film is going to be very tricky. I have some ideas of my own, but I'm not going to have expectations that they're going to go with my ideas because yeah, I'm just some guy on a podcast,
Mm-hmm.
and we are all grateful that you're all part of the podcast with us. Um, but yeah, so like I would rather they, not do Metroid next. Not because I don't want there to be a Metroid movie, but because I want to give them more time to actually figure out how they're even going to tackle Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm gonna agree with you. Make it Zelda. Link will be our sacrificial pawn in order to get our beautiful Chozo Queen. Okay, moving on to the comments. So, oh, we got Noemi showing up. Hello there. Hey, Noemi, how you doing? Wish you could have joined us on this review, but hopefully you will also join us for Spider-Verse 2 because we are going to review that movie for sure. Uh, Triple X Z says, hi, Noemi. Yeah, gotta love that camaraderie right there. Wish we had more Luigi scenes. Yes, Luigi had a few good scenes, but hopefully next one we get more Luigi.
Yep, that's why we need Daisy so that way they can have their
Yeah,
chemistry together.
yeah. Bowser's the goat. Yes, he is. Peaches, 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 peaches,
Mm-hmm.
peaches, peaches. Yeah. 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
And last comment of the day, I want Kirby next. Ooh, I wonder how they would tackle Kirby because it's like, are they gonna go with the TV show motif like Kirby right back at you? Because I feel like that's a safe one.
It would
But
be.
yeah, but honestly though, like I would love to see Kirby go up against Marx because Marx is one of my most favorite Kirby villains.
Yeah.
Especially when he goes all psycho in Smash.
Yeah.
Your villain is good if they become one of the 6 major villains in Smash 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is it for the comments. This has been Super Mario Brothers, the 2023 film. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon to let us to stay notified of our latest videos. While we don't have any particular themed month planned for July, like we did for anime in May. Oh, anime! There you go. uh, and um, and video game month for June. But we will go back to some like recent films that came out in the last few months, for example, we got the new Transformers movie, the new Spider-Man movie, and maybe a few others. Maybe you want to go back to some old movies like Scooby-Doo related content. So be sure to stick around for that. You could also check out our sister channel, the Morphin Network, where it's Morphin time all the time. For our reviews of Kamen Rider Geats and Osama Sentai King Oger on Tuesdays and Thursdays, respectively, both days being at 7:15 p.m. Pacific, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to check those out. So this week we are going to do episode 41 for Geats and 17 for King Oger. So stick around for that. Um, Also, yeah, if you want to check out our personal content, Miguel, where can the people find you?
You can find me over on Instagram at that blue dinosaur guy.
And you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on Twitch at twitch.tv/BokenKabuto. Last but not least, for those of you who enjoyed our Ranger Stop last weekend, we hope you all had a great time. Hope you had a great Father's Day as well. If you want to say hi to us, both of us will be in Japan World Heroes in August. So be sure to say hi to us there. We're gonna like check out all the tokusatsu actors and merchandise and all that other stuff, and maybe go get some ramen across the street. Who knows? Gotta love that night to dinner vibes.
Mm-hmm.
And with all that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update your emergency kits, wear weather appropriate attire because it's still summer slash winter right now. So make sure you're being safe there. And yeah, have a good start to your week, and we will see you guys again real soon. Have a good one. Bye.
All right.